If you had saw the other day Bill Barr giving his testimony, you saw the guy was being a piece of shit as always. He was being ignorant as most Trump supporters are. As Attorney General William Barr testifies Tuesday morning before the House Judiciary Committee, he would no doubt face harsh questioning from his critics in the Democratic Party on the number of apparent transgressions, such as criticism is fair, particularly as Barr has spent the past 2 years on a mission to destroy the Mueller investigation to help the fake President Donald Trump get reelected. Indeed, ever since Barr took over as Attorney General on February 14th, 2019, he has repeatedly demonstrated that his only allegiance is to the fake President Trump. Barr appears to be planning, in the closing weeks of the election, to release the results of an investigation that he launched into the origins of the Mueller investigation and possibly bring criminal indictments, a move that reeks of political opportunism. This is widely inappropriate in its timing and is obviously intended to boost Trump's reelection by damaging the presumptive Democratic nominee, the former Vice President Joe Biden. To help this fake president, Barr has shown no allegiance to his oath of office, the Justice Department, the nation, the rule of law, or the American people he is supposed to serve. Barr has also repeatedly failed to comply with the rules and standards of the Justice Department that he's leading. These failures are the basis of 7 complaints that people have filed of democracy on December 21st against Barr with the Justice Department's Inspector General and Office of Professional Responsibility. They charge Barr with improperly using his office to protect, promote, and advance Trump's personal political interest. These complaints were filed on April 15th, May 7th, and October 1st of 2019, and January 17th, February 27th, June 11th, and July 9th of 2020. Others are engaged in Barr's effort to support Trump, such as Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham and Senate Homeland Security Committee Chairman Ron Johnson. They are leading dubious Senate investigations, and they're certain to help Trump's reelection effort. But Barr is the chief architect. He has taken 3 pivotal steps to achieve his end. 2 are widely known, but the third has barely registered. The first occurred on June 8th of 2018 when a sort of sophisticated job application for Attorney General private citizen Barr sent a 19-page memo to the Justice Department slamming Mueller's Russia investigation. Barr did this even though, as he admitted, he was in the dark about many facts, and not the only time that Barr has made serious allegations was stating he does not know the relevant facts. In this particular memo, Barr accuses Mueller of having a fatally misconceived and unstoppable legal theory about Trump's potential obstruction of justice, but Barr wrote of Mueller's obstruction theory. If credited by the department, it would have grave consequences far beyond the immediate confines of this case and would do a lasting damage to the fake presidency and to the administration of law within the executive branch. Barr concluded that if Mueller's theory was accepted, the implications would be astounding. That job application in disguise worked. Barr got his post once he took control of the department. Barr's preconceived apocalyptic views about the Mueller investigation became the frame for his campaign to dismantle it. A second pivotal step, though little noticed, was on February 5th, when Barr issued a memorandum to Justice Department officials setting down election year rules for conducting politically related investigations and prosecutions. In this memo, Barr made fundamental changes to long-standing department policy. These changes allowed Barr to issue a report on criminal investigation or bring criminal indictments in late summer or fall to help Trump get reelected. Previously, the Justice Department rules had long prevented from taking action in an election year that might affect the voting results. The past attorneys general have laid out these rules in almost identical memos in March of 2008 by Attorney General Michael Mukasey, a Republican appointee, and in March of 2012 by Attorney General Eric Holder, and April of 2016 by Attorney General Loretta Lynch, both Democratic appointees. All these memos had state that politics must play no role in the decisions of the federal investigators or prosecutors regarding any investigations or criminal charges. Anyway, there is a clear purpose for this to prevent the powers of the Justice Department from being misused to affect an election. Barr, however, seems to have other ideas. His February 5th memo shrinks the scope of the non-interference rules, making it easier to disregard any possible election-related consequences if Barr decides to release a report on existing criminal investigations or bring criminal indictments. Furthermore, the Attorney General seems to believe that he has essentially unrestrained power and can ignore even his narrow set of restrictions. For example, Barr asserted in a radio interview that he can ignore the department's election year policies because they are only prudential. They call for him to make a judgment in each individual case, and this interpretation, however, has no basis in either the language of Barr's memo or previous Justice Department memos that he wrote. Barr claimed in the interview that he is free to issue indictments this year related to the origins of the 2016 Russia investigation. Any such indictments are likely to target Obama administration's law enforcement and intelligence officials and benefit Trump's re-election effort given the fake president's non-stop attacks on the Russia investigation. But Barr's moves are anything but innocent. To fully understand what he's up to here, you need to look to Barr's third pivotal step in his obsessive quest to destroy the Mueller investigation. On May 13th of 2019, Barr appointed the U.S. Attorney John Durham of Connecticut to investigate the origins of the 2016 Justice Department investigation into the Russian election interference. This was highly unusual because the department's nonpartisan Inspector General was already conducting a similar investigation. Of course, Trump had long claimed that Mueller's investigation was a hoax and a witch hunt, which turned out it wasn't. In December, the Inspector General issued a 434-page report that concluded that the Mueller investigation had a legitimate purpose and that there was no evidence of bias against Trump. This sharply contradicted Trump's repeated attacks on the Russian probe. But Barr immediately challenged the Inspector General's findings in another highly unusual action. Barr had flatly contradicted his own Inspector General, claiming that the Russian investigation had been opened up on the thinnest suspicions that, in my view, were insufficient to justify the steps taken. It is also clear that from its inception, the evidence produced in the investigation was consistently exculpatory. Durham had also challenged the reports, insisting that based on the evidence he had gathered so far in what has become a criminal investigation, he did not agree with some of the conclusions. This was also highly irregular. Department rules typically prohibit prospectors from commenting publicly on ongoing criminal investigations. If Durham's parallel investigations finds improper or criminal conduct by the Obama administration officials during the Russia investigations, Attorney General is widely expected to take action. He could, for example, release the findings of Durham's criminal investigations or perhaps file the criminal indictments in a desperate attempt to help Trump win. But these actions would not be prohibited under Barr's new Justice Department election year policies. If this occurs, the Attorney General would have blatantly violated what had been If this occurs, the Attorney General would have blatantly violated what had been the long-standing Justice Department policy. Barr would also be guilty of flagrantly abusing his office to assist Trump's campaign just weeks before this election. But Trump is also likely to use any of Barr's actions to try to smear Biden in the closing weeks of the campaign. In a recent Washington Post opinion piece, Mueller wrote that his Russian investigation identified numerous links between the Russian government and the Trump campaign personnel, Roger Stone among many of them. Mueller had wrote that the investigation established that the Russian government perceived it would benefit from a fake Trump presidency and worked to secure that outcome. It also established that the Trump campaign expected it would benefit electorally from information stolen and released through Russian efforts. It was a powerful rebuttal from a man of a few words, because in the end, history would not permit Barr or anyone else to turn the Mueller investigation into a hoax or witch hunt. But Barr's tenure as Attorney General has been a disaster for the American people. He has grossly abused his office and repeatedly violated the rules and standards of the Justice Department. The sooner he has gone from office, the better off the nation will be. So if you liked the video, give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, Random Mike, and also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when a new video comes out, and thanks for listening.